Hello, Ben. We're trying to get the telescope ready. As always, I start with Polaris to make sure we are aligned. And then we take it from there. Okay, it is out of focus, but we'll do that momentarily. Well, we have a crystal clear sky, as you can tell from the sky cam. And looks like we are very close to Polaris, so we're going to skip that. Okay. We're going to move it just a touch. I don't know if it's going to let me do that. Okay, what is the comet right now? Oh. All right, the sky live, sky tonight. Comets. I don't know if Seestar has it in the catalog. No, Comets 1 is a morning comet. We took a look at it a couple days ago. We'll go back to it first thing tomorrow morning. There is a good chance that tomorrow morning we will have Saturn, Venus, Neptune, Mercury, and the Moon all in one place. But for now, I'm curious to see if we can get Comet Vales. We tried getting it a couple, 3 nights ago. Did not look good. It says object is centered. Okay, give me autofocus, please. Thank you. We may have to catch it again once we are focused properly, because it's not tracking right now. Okay, there's the comet. All right, good. We have a comet. We have a comet. Time to plug the telescope into some power. Yeah, Vales is smack east, actually southeast, and it's not too bright, but Seestar should be able to handle it. If we do not see a tail, we're likely to see a trail of the comet. Howdy, Bill. We're trying to see Comet Vales. We're going to stack a couple minutes and see if it appears before we try to play it solve the sky again and see if we're in the right place. Bill, did you see my amazing video on the Wii Boost? It certainly made a big difference on the cell phone. Nothing looks familiar in this sky. I'm trying to look side by side at the sky live, the sky tonight, to see if I recognize any star pattern between the two. And so far, none. I'm going to give it a few minutes, and if we don't see any trail, then we'll try to go back to the comet. No, Ben, it is so I can go far away from the city. We live far away from the city. We do not have cell coverage at home. But as I equip my MIMO, my minivan mobile observatory, I need to be able to get internet connectivity from wherever I go, especially in the Bortle 1 areas. And this seems to provide some of that. By the way, it's interesting that Orion is in the tree and we can still see the Orion's belt, which suggests that Betelgeuse has not gone supernova yet. We saw Swan a couple mornings ago before Happy went berserk. If the sky stays clear tonight, then tomorrow morning, bright and early, we will have Comet Swan, as well as Saturn, Venus, Neptune, Mercury, and the Moon all together. I want to do another go-to here. This is where it thinks Vales is. The sky tonight says it is at 32 and 114. And 32 and 114, so we are in the right vicinity. Let's see if we can refine that. $32.4 and exactly 114. We should be in the right place. Yeah, Bortle 1 is only 1 hour drive from me. We just get into the Adirondacks and that's an easy trip. If and when everything is set up properly, I plan to go often. Hey, Bill, you have work. I can see it overhead. Seems to be just leaving Syracuse now. Yeah, my only disappointment with the WeBoost test is that the tablet did not show improvement. And the tablet is the one with the unlimited data plan. So next step is to swap SIM cards and see how long before I get a phone call from T-Mobile telling me I'm not allowed to do that. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, good evening from the Pompey Observatory. The sky is clear, the forecast is good, and I had my late night coffee, so I will be up for a long while. We have quite a few good targets in mind, but we need to check off the boxes on the Comet and TCRB before hopping onto the Sombrero galaxy, one of my favorites. We tried doing Sombrero with DWARF 3 earlier this week. Seestar should do justice to Sombrero. And then we're going to do a few clusters. And since the moon is out of the way, we'll see what we can do in terms of I don't know if there's any nebula right now in a good place, but there are lots of galaxies. This is galaxy season after all. The only explanation for not seeing the comet right now is that we're looking in the wrong place. Well, when I say we, I mean Seestar and I. Fish, let me see if they are right now operating on the east perch. So let me see where these are. M52 is going to be doable in a couple hours. NGC 7635. Yeah, same thing. Bill, one thing I discovered about the WeBoost is the antenna will not work unless it is sitting on a large piece of metal to act as a reflector. as a ground, if you will. It is intended to stick to the roof of a car or a van, but not to be sitting on a table or standing alone. Thanks, Fish. According to the Sky Live, Vales has a magnitude of 13.5, so we should be able to see it. Whoa. I don't think this is a plane, Bill. I think this is a satellite. I don't see any evidence of blinking. And I see it on the Skycam. That thing is moving very fast. Okay, we have more starlinks crossing, zigzagging the image. At 15 minutes, we will call it off and see where TCRB is. Stellarium, please. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, TCRB is good now. It is at 20 degrees elevation. It is level with M13. So we should be able to see it. The lyrids are starting to show up. Next Monday should be the peak for the meteor shower. But if we see any tonight, we're keeping an eye for Vega. Vega right now is not too far from M13. Well, it's just northeast. So we're keeping an eye in this region for meteors. That is the radiant. No joy on P2010. Hello, Amin. Oh, yep, there it is. All right, there is a big disagreement between the database of the Sky Live and that of Seestar. I'm going to go with the Sky Live for now. It is giving me an azimuth of 117.9. All right, close enough. And an elevation of 35.1. Close enough. So this is correct. All right. TCRB next. Thanks, Bill. There is some aurora borealis tonight, but it is a little bit further north from us. But keeping an eye for it, if we see it, we'll let you know. Well, you'll see it also. Okay, surprise. TCRB has not gone nova yet. Who would have thought? This time a year ago. Already. No nova. Let's go to a beautiful target if we can. Hello, Toast. Hello, Dallas. And this is where glass has its privilege. 40 seconds in, and we are already seeing the beauty of the Sombrero galaxy. We're going to do justice to Sombrero, even though it is in the wrong part of the sky and going down. Good morning, Jeannie. Or is it still evening where you live? Hello, Rochester. Jeannie, if you have not done the Sombrero Galaxy yet, add it to your list of must-dos. Right now, there is a lot to the south, actually. The entirety of the Milky Way is heading south on us. Yes, Sombrero is south. M68, M83, they're all in the southeast. And if you look just a bit higher, you have the whole crowd of M95, M96, M105, and then the Leo triplet is there. M64 is not south yet, or is it? Where is M64? Yeah, M64 is east-southeast, so it really is not south. No, it's not the S50 connection that has bugged on us. It is the screen copy from the tablet to the computer. Thanks, Dallas. I have the tablet sitting right next to the computer, and I look at them, and sometimes screen copy stops updating the screen copy, which is what it had just done. In this configuration, there is no shortage of things that can go wrong. I hear you, Raider fan. I have my telescope sitting outside the window. This way I can close the window. See, if your window opens out and you have two window panes, what I did, I put my angle bracket right under the right window so I can open the left window and be able to reach the angle bracket and put the telescope on it and close the window and not have to open the other window at all. Otherwise, if I put it smack in the center between two windows, then I would not be able to open either. Oh, I would go with M33 Triangulum. Dallas, you're talking about what would you do other than Andromeda? Definitely M33. Good night, Ben. Or as we say en français, bonne nuit. Yeah, Dallas, keep in mind that M33 is going to require a long time. And if you are imaging it with a large aperture telescope, you may want to consider equatorial mounting. Otherwise, if you're imaging it with an S50 or a dwarf, you can probably get away with the Alt-as mount, and you can ignore the edges when they get crooked, because the telescope will keep rotating the image to do the packing and the stacking. It is the Sombrero genie. We're going to try to zoom in on it one more time and see if screen copy is going to bug on us again. Yeah, it's not happy again. Dallas, I bought an angle bracket from Home Depot and bent it with my vice grip at exactly 43 degrees. And that's what I use for my equatorial mount. Jeannie, if I recall correctly, your video should show up tomorrow morning or this coming midnight. That's when it's scheduled. Let me verify that. Yes, indeed. In about 2 hours, your video will go public on this YouTube channel. The NRO 57 launch from Vandenberg. Toast, if you're talking about the gears inside the Seestar, I remain very, very nervous about putting Seestar. There we go, being photobombed. Bill, this looks like a plane to me, considering the Morse code-like trail. Do you know of any planes flying at 30 million light years away from us? Don't know if you guys saw the article yesterday that some scientists found evidence of life on an exoplanet not too far from us, 120 light years away. Let me see if I can find the link. I meant to image it, see if we can see the life on a sea star from here. Stand by looking for the life. Okay, there we go. Well, this is just to prove the point that Dallas made that somebody somewhere is flying a plane on some other planet. So K218 is a possibility. Okay, K218 is just below NGC 3705. So we should be able to go there. Hey, somebody is intent on ruining my sombrero. Toast, if you cannot see it, you can imagine it. And that's good enough for most scientific publications these days. Yes, Bill, I should label those telescopes. Thank you. There we go. Bill, are you looking at the Sombrero galaxy on your large screen? Because if you are, I suspect you can see clearly the band of dust across the center or the middle of the galaxy. Yes, indeed. Clear skies make a big difference. My neighbor to the east has so many lights outside that you can actually see the building and the land around it. Toast, are you talking about the Sombrero galaxy or my neighbor's lights? Because Sombrero is a bit farther than half a mile. Hello, Richie. Comet 2021 G2 Atlas is rising now to the east. Don't know if it's going to be visible. Richie, we were able to get Swan in the morning with the Dwarf 3. I shall attempt to get it again tomorrow morning with the Seestar. Weather forecast. They're still talking about clear skies in the morning. So I might grab a couple hours sleep between today and tomorrow, and then get up bright and early to hit Swan, and then a lineup of Saturn, Neptune, Venus, Mercury. I don't know if Seestar lets me look at the catalog and then come back while still capturing. We'll see. Looks like it would. It does have the Swan. Okay. Yeah, we did, Richie, we tried getting P2010 tonight to no avail. Okay, audio off for a couple minutes. I'll be right back. I'm back. M104 is not going to be much longer to this world for us. It is heading to the other side of the building. But we're going to sit on it for a little bit longer. The stars are still reasonably round. The first time I imaged 104 to some extent, to some length, was with my 8-inch Edge HD using a DSLR camera. Took lots of frames and then stacked them all with Deep Sky Stacker and then processed them with GIMP and then stretched them. Came out very, very nice. And then I took M104 with the 16-inch at Oswego, and that was just one frame, and it came out gorgeous. Okay, the neighbors have turned some lights off. That's good. And my next door neighbor has turned off his driveway light. That's good. Let's see, what is M104 right now? Azimuth-wise. It is at 154, so we can stay with it for another few minutes. I think the Seestar will allow us to escort it all the way to the meridian. We'll see if that's going to be the case. Radar, it's going to be one of the clusters, either M5 or M13. But right now, I'm going to stay with the M104 to see if we can improve on it further or not. We're going to do an AI enhancement on 104. And looks like by Saturday morning, the International Space Station will be back overhead in the morning. Richie, you couldn't either do what? Bill, this is the kind of debate that we will defer to the scientists. At least I will defer to the scientists. Do you want to borrow a chainsaw? I was going to offer Jeannie my chainsaw because she keeps taking, trying to image launches from Vandenberg between two trees. But then again, that's where the hawk lands, and if we take out the tree, then we cannot get the video of the hawk. It's a small dilemma. Hello, Zena. Are you okay? You're going back to rest? Fish, it's not the perspective that we appreciate, it's the beauty of the images that we appreciate and enjoy. Zena, many of my former co-workers are bailing out in round 2. Too many. Zena, when I say not sleeping, it's usually because the sky is clear. I never do the not sleeping part because of work. It's not good for your health. There was a big tree in my backyard blocking the east. And one day, my wife came back from a long trip to visit her parents, and she said, "There used to be a tree here." I said, "It's dead." She said, "Before you cut it down, it was not dead." I said, "We're splitting hairs here. It's a matter of timing. It is dead now. It's gone." And then it got very crowded in the dog house for a while. Zena, that's what I thought. I thought that I'll be sleeping a lot more during retirement. I did not account for a puppy, let alone a Belgian Malinois. That thing doesn't sleep, doesn't let anybody sleep. So if you want to maintain your lifestyle of not sleeping, just get a dog, get a puppy. So we shall give M104 the AI treatment, see what that does. Genie, hurry up, take a screen capture. Good night, Gina. It's going to be interesting to see how, with every new frame, the galaxy is going to fill up more and more of that circle. We're going to see more and more stars appear because they are fainter. The farther away you go from the center, the fainter the stars. Yeah, thanks for the reminder, Bill. Looking forward to seeing what the Rubin telescope is going to be able to do. Bill, the text message that you sent me resulted in an error that said file type not supported. It's not the S50 that's stuck, it is the screen copy that is stuck. There we go. That is unusual. It only gets the link between the tablet and the laptop gets stuck only when the tablet is zoomed in. which doesn't make any sense. Hi, Mike. Haven't seen any auroras this far south. According to the aurora dashboard, they are a little bit further north. Otherwise, we'll be seeing them. Yeah, the line is just through northern New York. If there's anything nearby, we will see it on the Skycam, so we can put Dwarf 3 on it. Yeah, I don't use beers to set up the camera. I use a tripod. It works a bit better. We are Bortle 4 active. Unfortunately, I'm seeing some clouds starting to move down on us from the north, which was not in the forecast. Richie, I saw the registration for Cherry Springs. The Adirondacks are a lot closer to me than Cherry Springs. And believe it or not, they can be a bit darker. Right now I'm planning multiple trips to check out various places in the Adirondacks. The one big advantage of Cherry Springs is nobody's going to knock on your window and ask you what you're doing in the middle of the night in the middle of nowhere. I've had too many times police knocking on my windows asking, "What are you doing?" And for safety reason, it is illegal in the Adirondacks to park at night at trailheads because they routinely patrol those trailheads to see if there is any car there. If they find a car at night, they assume that there are hikers lost in the mountains or in the woods, and these are their cars left behind. So any car at a trailhead in the Adirondacks at night is a no-no. And if we end up at campsites, then I'm not so sure they're going to be dark enough, given that people are going to be barbecuing and doing the things that people do with noise and light. So that's part of the research. Bill has heard me say the test that I did in my car when I put the telescope on the roof. I could see my heartbeat literally in the images because the car had such excellent shock absorbers or springs that my heartbeat was showing up. I don't know if the minivan is going to be that sensitive. I want to try to see what happens if I put a Seestar or a DWARF on the roof while I'm sleeping inside or sitting inside. Otherwise, they'll just have to sit. See, if I put them besides the van, then I immediately lose 180 degrees of cover because the van is going to block them. And I don't know that I can find a tripod that is 7 foot high for them to clear the van, so I'm very tempted to try putting the telescope on the roof of the van and getting the full 360 degrees. As a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, we have the Lyrid meteor shower on Monday. I think this is Vega. So that the radiant for the lyrids is going to be just about here. This is not a meteor, that's one of Bill's planes. No, Rice Creek is not dark enough, Bill. Rice Creek is a 4 also. Happy Easter, Isobig. I'm going to send you coordinates, Bill, of where I am looking at in the Adirondacks. According to the light pollution map, that part of the Adirondacks is actually darker than Cherry Springs. Radar fan, yes, I did. Before I went looking for Polaris, I opened the arm and I did a focus, autofocus. And then when it did its calibration, when it took its darks, it refocused. And if I see the stars getting bloated, I will refocus. One thing I have not done yet, which I should probably do, is turn on the dew heater. There we go. But these stars are looking still very, very sharp. And we're filling more and more of that circle. Raider fan, if you're using an S50, a Seestar, I learned through trial and error that my best bet is to go to Polaris as my very first target of the night. Because Polaris is always there, always in the same place. And that will set the tone for the rest of the night. Because once it finds Polaris and I focus on it and on its neighbors, then I have a good night from there on. If I start with a random target, then I've had my fair share of problems of it trying to focus on the house or trying to plate solve the house or things like that. Fish, your best bet for Swan for C2025 is in the morning as opposed to the evening. Yeah, it's gone for now. It's gone for the night. Bill, I have not attempted to see if the firmware is upgradable or needs to be upgraded on the ETX 90. I'm also wondering what the aux port will allow me to do. But for now, it is functional. I plan to test it soon. For visual use, obviously. But if I can control it, I do have a camera for it. The ASI662 is the one I intend to put with it. But for now, I'm likely to use it to do the guiding manually, as opposed to computer-driven, standalone, and then use the camera to do some imaging of initially the moon, eventually some of the smaller targets. Bill, as of Tuesday, I have 5 students from Oswego working with me, 3 of them full-time for the summer. And I am meeting with the electrical engineering folks next week to see if I can get some electrical engineers willing to work on the self-destruct problem with the 16-inch mead. See if we can detect, if they can build the gadget to detect that it's going towards the hard stop and stop it before it starts banging against it. Yeah, I saw the laser pointer. For visual use, it should be fine. If aux allows control of the scope, then we will very quickly get into the plate solving and the auto guiding possibilities. Hello, RW. Fish, one of the purposes of the ETX-90 of Mr. Mead is to educate astronomy students, and having them align it and finding targets with it is part of the experience. So I'm not too worried about them doing some work to get it pointed in the right direction and aligned, finding the stars. Still no sign of any meteors. Correct, Bill. It's the night of the 21st, Monday night. I plan to have dwarf looking wide angle towards Vega and Skycam looking at the sky to see if it'll show us any meteors. If you remember when we did the Perseids, the first night was ruined by the northern lights. We had aurora. But the second night we catched quite a few meteors, maybe a dozen or so. And that was on the ASI120 with a fisheye lens, nothing fancy. Yeah. Are you talking about now, live Subaru, or Monday? Well, the problem with Subaru is it's cloudy. So they are uh, 6 hours behind us. So it will be early morning here by the time they can look at meteors. So it's going to be an interesting night, Monday night to Tuesday morning. Yes, fish. Sun is right behind the comet. You don't get much of a break. Let me see what astrospheric says. Right now it says solid clouds. But then again, a couple nights ago it was saying it's going to be cloudy now, and it's not. So we'll play it by ear. Sunday night right now is promising to be clear. And Sunday night we should have a few meteors one day before peak. So we'll keep an eye on it. Fish, I have not checked the planned or expected path of the comet to know when it's going to change from a morning to an evening planet. I have 30 minutes on M13, so we're going to try to enhance it so Jeannie can take a picture, a screen capture. Unfortunately, the AI enhance burned the center. Oh well, whatever. Can you keep the clouds on your side of the state, please? Keep them in Rochester, thank you, and good night. Okay, I'm going to hop over to M5. Good night, Bill. Since the forecast is not calling for any rain tonight, I'm going to leave Seestar out, get some sleep, and then get up to catch the comet and then the assortment of planets. So as soon as M5 is done, and before it gets tomorrow, we'll close this live stream and then restart it in about 4 or 5 hours. Let me see what time Comet Swan is gonna get up. It rises at 3:36. So anytime after 4 o'clock, it should be high enough in the sky here. Let me see. Four o'clock, it'll be 3 degrees, so we're looking at by 5 o'clock Venus will be up also. Where's the moon? Thought we're gonna have the moon nearby. Uh-oh. The clouds have come from Rochester. The moon is not going to be anywhere near the activity. It's going to rise at azimuth 135, which is southeast. And then it's going to cross the meridian at around 5 a.m. Okay, so the moon is not going to be part of the action tomorrow. Nice fish. Okay, looks like our night is coming to an abrupt ending here. So I'm going to wish you all a good night, and I'm going to attempt to leave everything set up so I can turn them back on and get online in about 5 hours. See if we can catch the comet and the planets. But for now, I'm going to wish you a good night from the Pompey Observatory and catch you in the morning.